see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So today I've created a short presentation about what producers do, a little bit on how one can motivate your team, and also a little bit on how we do high-level planning, and a bit about my background, how I got into gaming and animation, and now producer role. So I'll start. So I have, I have jotted the slides down into 4 to 5 parts. So we'll start with my introduction. Then the second part is what a producer does. Third part, basically, I'll give you insights on how we plan when we get mandates. Fourth part is team motivation, and the fifth part, please feel free to ask any questions and answers during the presentation in the chat. So, introduction. So, yeah, most of you know me. My name is Jinesha Gandhi, and I work as an associate producer at Ubisoft India Studios. I have 10 years of project management experience. Video games is my passion. I love what I do. So, a bit about my history. I studied bachelor's in business management and 3D animation. I also, like, when I was young and in my childhood, my parents got to know, and even I got to know, that I'm dyslexic. So it means the dyslexic is basically a learning difficulty. I had learning difficulties in maths and in languages. So luckily, my school was very nice to me, and they exempted me in these two subjects. So, and because of my dyslexic, childhood, or maybe because I have dyslexia, I was very intrigued with animation and 3D moving objects. I knew at a very, very young age, when I was in my ninth grade, I knew that I wanted to make a career, and I wanted to do something which is related to animation and moving objects. I wasn't clear what, but I just knew that yes, I have to go in this industry because this is my calling. So, quick timeline of my journey. So, I started my career in 2010 as, sorry, can you see my screen? Hello?
Oh, yeah, we can see it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I started my career as a 3D texture artist at Red Chilies .vfx. It is one of the biggest VFX studios, and they make Bollywood films. So I got a chance to work on some great movies as an artist, and explore my artistic skills. In 2012, I got a job at Crazy Motion Studios, where they were making in-house mobile games. So I got a job as a project manager. I was very lucky that that they gave me a job as a project manager when I wanted to be an artist, but they liked my communication skills and the way I present myself. And I thought, yeah, I should take up this challenge of managing teams. Then in 2014, I moved to a company called Credensis Solutions, where they made mobile apps and games as well. And 2016, I worked for a company called Spacer Technologies, where they only made IT apps. And I used to hate making IT apps because this wasn't my passion. I knew I had to work for a gaming company that's into core video games, and I got a job with Ubisoft in 2017, and now I work for them as an associate producer, and I make console games. So now there's no looking back, and I've been very, very content and happy ever since I became a producer for a proper gaming studio. I love what I do. So yeah, this is a quick snippet of my journey. So what do we do? What do producers do? Most people think that we place orders, or what we say people have to follow, but it's not that. There's a lot that goes into the way we work, the way we plan, the way we organize ourselves and bring our team together. So just a little meme or a joke I created here of what exactly a producer does. So what my friends think I do, it's something great, winning awards. What family thinks I do, what society thinks I do, where I get paid to play video games. That's what a lot of people have told me. That is pretty cool. When it's way beyond that. What game directors think I do, because as producers we have to look into budgeting and resource management. What I think I do, that I do a lot of things and I play many roles. And what I really do is chase my team every day so that we can deliver whatever has been planned. So, on a serious note, producers manage part of the production process of a game and build and deliver with a team that will develop it. In a nutshell, we are responsible for bringing our entire team together towards one single goal. So we manage many people and many various teams, and it's very important for us to make sure that that each and every team member, whether they are the technical team, or the character team, or they are UI GPP team, or the QC team, we have to make sure that all of them are aware of one single goal, which is the project, which is timeline, schedules, quality, working within budgets. So yeah, that's basically our job, to manage everybody's expectations, even the people above us, even stakeholders. So, what are the core values of a producer? So, what makes us a producer? Just one moment. There are three core values of a producer: we deliver, we facilitate, and we lead. So I'll quickly go through what exactly each core value means and what we do on a day-to-day basis, so you will understand more in depth. And deliver. So what our job is, basically we define the goal to the team once we have the mandate, or the feature sign off, scope document. We have many names. I usually say mandate. So we have to define the goal. Once we get a scope document, then we sit with the team, we break down our work, we break down large chunks of work into small measurable chunks. We also have to liaise well between interdependent teams, because when you make a video game, each and every team is dependent on each other when it comes to timelines, or when it comes to what's next. So for example, if you have the character team and you have to create one character, the rigging team is dependent on you. Once you're done with the character creation, you integrate it in the engine, then you have the rigging team who works on it, then you have the animation team, then you have the gameplay team. So all this has to be planned and has to be chalked out by all the producers, so everyone is on the loop. So everyone is in the loop when what has to be delivered, and what is expected as the final result. Also, we send a lot of reports. We send weekly reports, bi-weekly reports, monthly reports to all the stakeholders. So everybody is in the loop. If there are any risks, concerns, what is the status of the project, and so on. We also create and maintain project plans, scheduling, and staffing plans. So a part of our job, like one of the main crux of our job is maintaining project plans and updating it as and when there are like rescoping, if there are rescoping, if there are any cuts, if people have fallen sick or somebody's left the team, if we have to recruit. So all these things we have to keep into consideration on the bigger picture, so that we can plan ahead and the project does not suffer. We also monitor deliverables against rescope, recuts, schedules, or any other changes that may occur. Facilitate. So this is again very important, because you are the voice for your team. You are the voice for maybe another, like you're the voice for your company in a way, because the producer talks to many people. It's not only the team, they have to talk to many external partners as well, right? Because the work is divided amongst so many different kinds of teams all over the world. So we have to facilitate. So we engage with the team on a daily basis to see what they need to function smoothly. So on a daily basis, we have stand-up meetings where we, get updates from the team. We talk to the team on a regular basis to know if they have any issues, queries, concerns, if we can be of any help to, to basically see that they are not stuck, because it's very important for us, for producers, to make sure that the team is not stuck and the work goes on. We also set things up for the team to work with ease. So basically, granting them access to all the documentation, getting them permissions for any project management sites, their IT setup, their system setup, their softwares, and so on. We also support existing or new pipelines. So a lot of times what we do is, because time is we have very less time and we have a lot to deliver. So if there are things that have worked for us in the past, maybe any processes or any or any lessons that we've learned during our management history, we tend to use that, and we tend to develop our own processes to make sure that things are streamlined and are done at its and work is done at its best. We also plan and book calendars for meetings. We use Scrum or any agile project management tools that may work for us, so that our work is streamlined, and we are, so that we can keep a check on what tasks are being done at a more minuscule level. The third and the most important point, we lead people. So a lot of times I feel that many producers forget that they are leaders first, and then they have to deliver, facilitate, because it all depends on the way you lead your team. If I personally feel that if you cannot lead them, you cannot inspire them, you will not be able to bring out the best in your team. So being a good leader is different from being a manager. So as a producer, you need to focus on being a leader to your team. So how can you do that? You have to, we solve problems and deal with constraints as and when they occur. So we are problem solvers, because issues can occur at any point, any time. Things we've never seen or thought of come to us, and we have to figure out how to solve it. We drive the team towards one goal. As I mentioned, we have to make sure that each and every person is focused towards one common goal, which is deliveries, the project, the quality. Then we communicate regularly with all stakeholders in order to avoid surprises. So we also communicate with the higher management or with external partners. We communicate, there are producers who communicate with the marketing team, who communicate with the business team, and a lot of times even HR team, admin team. So you're talking to multiple people and you're getting work done simultaneously by different teams. We follow up with dependencies and establish deadlines with dependent teams. So as I mentioned, when you make a video game, everything, each and every team is dependent on each other. It's a chain. So if one part of the chain breaks or doesn't work well, the entire chain is broken into pieces, and it's very difficult to then bring them back together. So we have to make sure that even the teams that are dependent on us, they are also kept in the loop if there are any pushbacks, or there are any issues where we cannot match the timeline. And we have to make sure that their planning is also in front of us. We have to set expectations even to them. Another point is, we have to be a good listener to your team. There's a very thin line between being a good listener and hearing. A lot of times people just hear, they don't listen, because we forget that we deal with people, and when you deal with people, you deal with emotions, you deal with psychology. So a lot of times, your team or someone or the other has some issue, maybe personal, or maybe an issue with the work that you're doing. You have to be a good listener, you have to listen to them. Then only you can boost the morale and make sure that they do better. So next point, make sure the team morale is high by motivating them and having regular one-on-ones. So you need to, like producers, we also try our best to have one-on-one sessions to understand from the team if they are enjoying their work, if there's anything they want us to change. We also do a lot of we also do a lot of retrospective. So when milestones are over, we take their feedbacks and we want to know from the team what did they think about the delivery, the milestone, the way it was managed, handled, any changes they would like. And we do all this so that their pain is eased, and if they are at ease, then even we are at ease, and the project also goes, project also works properly. So the next topic, how do we plan? So this is a small picture. I wanted to show you what happens when you don't plan. So, I mean, our job is to make sure that our planning is spot on as much as possible. If we do not plan, then this is what happens. It's chaos, chaos, chaos. So project planning is basically a discipline for stating how to complete a project within a certain time frame, usually with defined stages and designated resources. So there are two points in planning. You have a design document from where you get your feature of what needs to be developed, what needs to be created, and based on the design document, you create your planning and scheduling. So I'll just run through this quickly so you'll understand what is the difference. So design documents are basically high level product description. So they are documents and briefs of the deliverables. It's like you have a mandate. For example, I'll take the example of a character because it'll be easy for you to understand. And I've just been taking that example. If you get a character for a game, you will get a description saying, okay, this character, let's take the example of a Greek god. This character is a Greek god. The game is based about Greek mythology, and it's a female, and we want a character around Medusa. So we want her to have like a very scary face and snakes on her hair. Also, the character she should be able to, for example, shoot fire from her mouth. So these are the kind of details you have in your design documents, which tell you the history of a certain aspect of the game that you have to create. So based on the document, we also create feature stories. We get feature requests and we create user stories. So the design document also defines activities and outcomes. Expectation of what is needed is chalked out on this document. So what exactly is needed by us, what do we need to create, is chalked out in this document. Usually these documents are created by the game designers and game directors, and then it comes to the team. So scheduling. So once we have this document ready, as a producer, it's my job, it's our job to estimate for all the tasks. So first, before we estimate, we create stories, we create backlogs, we create, we break down the task into smaller parts so that we can understand them, and we discuss it together with the team. Then we take estimations from each and every team member, especially from those people who are going to work on that feature, because it's very important for the person, the artist or the programmer who's working on that specific feature, for them to be on the same page as you, because they will be doing the coding or the creation of the feature. Then we set start and end dates for deliverables. We specify milestones, deliverables, budgets, and dependencies. So it's very important for us to specify all these parts, because once we create a plan, we specify which milestone we'll deliver what based on the priority. We also have our budgets and dependencies ready. This entire plan goes to all the stakeholders, the team, the higher management, so that everybody is ready and everybody's on the same page on what needs to be delivered. And also we closely follow up on tasks, and we have to identify any risks and delays and issues that come up during our planning. So it's a plan, and we always wish things go according to plan, but that never happens, which is why we also take a lot of buffer period in our planning, to make sure that if there are any unforeseen events, it is accounted for in the plan itself. So Planning, there are 6 questions we ask ourselves when we have to plan for any task. And this, I think, goes for anybody and everybody who works in the video game industry, because I believe that each and every individual, each and every individual, they do plan their own task, even, at a personal level before going to the producers. So, the first question we ask is why. So, yeah, why? I mean, we start outlining the project needs, identifying the problem that needs to be solved. So, this comes from the design document, that why do we need to create this character? Why do we need to create this feature? If it's a feature for tools, for example, you have to create some tool in the engine. Why do we need it? What value does it add? That's the question we ask, right? Then the second question is what. So now that this has been answered, why, what value does it add, a lot of these questions we ask the end user as well, whoever is in the team, because we get their perspective and we try to understand from their mindset, so we can create something which is, which is more aligned to what the player would like or appreciate in the game. So what, we define deliverables and break down tasks. So we ask the question, what will the team deliver? What are the small tasks that they have to deliver? When? So we identify resources, dependencies, and activities. So we identify which team will deliver what part, what feature, what are the dependencies. Are there any other, external activities, external dependencies that, that I need to take care of, so the team does really, really well. When does the team need to deliver? What is the timeline? What are the estimations? Then we ask 3 more questions. How much? So it's very important for us as producers to keep budget and money in mind. So we estimate the work and we outline dependencies. We finalize team allocation. So each team member has a specific budget. Each project has a budget, and we have to make sure that we fit our deliverables within that budget. So the budget usually comes from the studio itself, or each project has a budget. Risk. So we have to plan for mitigating risk. So we have to foresee risk. We have to think what can go wrong. Maybe people will fall sick. Maybe someone might quit. Maybe, at times softwares don't work in the midst of any priority tasks. What do we do? How will we mitigate the risk? And the last but not the least, we monitor tasks. So for us to monitor tasks, we use project management tools like Jira, Trello, Basecamp, and we use Scrum or any other agile project management methodologies, where it's easier for us to monitor tasks. And we use this with the team. So I'll move on to the fourth part. In case I'm very fast, please, guys, please unmute yourself and let me know. So I'll move on to the fourth part, team motivation. So I thought I'll share a picture of my team before I move on to the team motivation slides. We have a lot of fun working together, all of us, every day. And yeah, I mean, it's been amazing in Ubisoft with my team. So motivation. And before I move on to this, I wanted to just say why I chose this topic. I feel a lot of times we forget, in the midst of deliveries and timelines and work pressure, we forget that it's so important to motivate and inspire your team. And as a leader, it's our job to make sure that the team morale is at its peak. Because if the team is not motivated, they will never be able to give in their best. So yeah, as a leader, as I mentioned, it's our job to bring out the best in each and every individual. You work with 20 people, 100 people, 500 people, but it's your job to make sure that those 500 people or 20 people or 100 people given their best input every single day. And this is not easy, because you deal with emotions, you deal with psychology, but this is a it's a very important part of your job. So why is team motivation important? So employee motivation is key to an organization's success. You need to make sure people are happy, I feel a lot of times teams, they're happy when they have a work life balance, when they're appreciated. Uh, Secondly, it's the level of commitment, drive, and energy that a company's worker brings to the role every day. This is really, really true. I have seen when there are days when I am demotivated and I go to work and it spreads. Then even my team is demotivated and everybody is very sad that day. So we have to make sure that everybody is pumped up and ready and happy to work with you and on the project. Without motivation, companies experience reduced productivity, lower levels of output, and it's likely that the company will fall short of reaching important goals. So, this I have observed in a lot of other teams where the teams have not been motivated or they are under a lot of pressure or they have some issue or the other and they are unable to deliver when they are very good artists, programmers, testers. They're very good at their job, but they are unable to bring it out because they are not motivated, they're not happy, and their manager, their leader is not able to that bring out that best in them and that happiness in them. So, a few tips on how to inspire your team. I don't use the word motivation because as leaders, we inspire people. We do not motivate them. A manager motivates, but a leader inspires them. And inspiring a team is much harder because you yourself need a lot of patience to inspire people. So, a few tips. So, the first thing that you do is you share the organization's vision. So it's very important for you to come together on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis and talk to your team, share the vision of the organization, not only the project, that this is what the organization has planned for us, or this is the growth that we foresee, and you guys are the warriors who are going to take us to the next level. So they understand where the company is headed because everybody wants growth. So people wait for us to tell them that where is the company going in the next 5 years and so on. Second thing is you communicate with your team. So in companies like Ubisoft or other bigger companies, you have, because teams are big, you have technical leads who are there, who work with the team at, on an everyday level. So, but I feel as a producer, you also should talk to each and every team member, not only your lead. You have to create a bond with them, talk to them, even if it is just general discussions. You can share movies or music, but only if you create a bond with them and they trust you, because you need to gain their trust. If you can gain their trust, then they'll do anything for you first. And I've seen this happen with me quite a few times in my career. So I think it's very important to communicate with them, create a friendship with them, create a bond with them. The third point is appreciation. So a lot of times we forget to appreciate people. It's very sad and many people feel underappreciated even if they are highly paid, but they do feel they still feel sad because they feel that their manager is not appreciating them, their hard work. So it's important for you to appreciate them, give them a pat on their back and just say good job. That's all they expect. It's not even sharing it in front of other team members, even pinging them that good job, thank you so much. It really lifts up their spirits and they feel so happy that my producer, she appreciated me, my leads appreciated me. The fourth point is support new ideas. So here what happens is, usually when we work on a game project, we have mandates that are given to us and we have to make sure we work around the feature sign off that has already been passed on to us and agreed upon by all the stakeholders. But I feel it's important to even listen to your team and ask them for their suggestions, because we hire industry experts to come and make the game. So we need them also to come and speak their voice. If they feel they are heard, they will also be motivated to work better, to research better, and to improve their skill as well as improve the project. So it's very important to support their ideas as well, even if we don't end up using it, but we can at least pitch it to the stakeholders, or at least we can appreciate them and ask them for their advice. The next point is encourage creativity. So we work in a very creative industry, which is making video games, and at times, our creative coding or a creative artistic skill is curbed because we have a lot of we have a lot of constraints where we cannot really explore it. We have project budgets. Besides money, we have budgets when it comes to even making the game, in terms of memory, in terms of other small things. So memory or timeline and etc. So at times, creativity gets curbed. So how do you encourage creativity? Well, you can have different creative sessions where you can tell your team members to take training sessions for other team members, share knowledge. You can create something. Like, I encourage the team that create something, put it out there, show people. That's how you tap into your creativity, and we also get a chance to see maybe another skill of theirs which we would never be able to see because of our deadlines and our project. The next point is team bonding sessions. So we make sure, as producers, we have to make sure that mostly after every big milestone, we have a team bonding session where we go out for company, like team lunches or team dinners, and we play games. And it's a lot of fun. It's great. It's a great place to know each other. And the more we have team bonding sessions, the more I think you create that bond, and you share a light you share light conversations. You forget that your project manager or your producer and you're the team. You come together as friends and you have fun. So it's very important to have team bonding sessions. And last but not the least, create a fun work environment. So here I would say it's we need to make sure in our planning, as much as possible, we create a work life balance. Because people these days, they want work life balance. It's not even more money. They want work life balance because there are so many companies they can go to where they'll get paid a lot for their skill, but very less projects and very less companies provide you work life balance where you can even sit with your family after an 8-hour work window. So it's important for us to do that. If as a producer you feel your team is under a lot of pressure, or they've been putting in extra hours to complete the work, give them a few days off. It is okay. Talk to the stakeholders that the team is mentally frustrated, they need a few days off. Or create a plan in such a way where you have only few days where you do overtime, and the rest of the days it's more relaxed. And you will see the change. Then people will work more and the productivity will increase. And yeah, this was my short presentation. I wanted to show you guys and share with you